this could be long, this could be disjointed, this could be anything, but it's not going to be short. Right, so to begin with, I will start with my trip to the hospital. So I'm currently cooking, because if I don't, then I won't eat. So I'm cooking for the entire week. So I asked my sister to suggest a chicken recipe for me. So I'm following one of her recipes. But to go back to yesterday when my mother was saying, oh, but she needs to eat good food. As I keep saying, I'm the one who doesn't have any health problems. So for my food, very simple. So I'm roasting a chicken, and the other ingredients that I'm using: a bag of potatoes, part boiled and then roasted, a packet of leeks, 2 large onions, and a whole bulb of garlic. That is a sum total of everything that I'm going to eat. But the garlic and the onion is very, very good for promoting health. So some people would turn their noses up at that and say, that's nothing, right? So they're going to have the big Sunday dinner, whatever, the Sunday roast, whatever it is people have. And they would frown upon what I'm cooking, but like I said, I'm the one with good health. So anyway, that's her recipe. So surprisingly, there are people, I'm sure, praying for my sister and not knowing what the situation is. But we actually laugh and joke at the hospital. So yesterday, it was decided that she's coming home. I believe it was yesterday I received that information. Yeah, Friday. So obviously she's in her mind, she knows she's coming home, so she's a bit perkier. So all right, yesterday I prepared, I'm all about inspiration, I know I'm all about quackery. So what I did was I left her, remember she's in the hospital 7 weeks and she's had vertigo constantly for the whole 7 weeks. And as well, she had a jacket potato yesterday and she brought that back up straight away after eating it. So today I walk in, and overnight I'd left her with a cup of water with some diced ginger, and I told her not to drink it before the morning because it needed to settle and get the flavors out and get to some level of potency. So I asked her, did you manage to keep all your food down today? And she said yes. You see, so she's in the hospital, and whatever it is they're giving her or not giving her, not working. And I come with my little bit of quackery, and it was something that I'd never tried before, but it worked. I figured I put it in water instead of just giving it to her to chew, because that might be a bit, it can be strong, because sometimes when I'm chewing, I start coughing because it's so hot and strong. So anyway, that worked. So now I'm thinking, seeing that worked, I'm thinking I want to sort of take this a little bit further, because ginger is also good for vertigo. So my aim now is to cure the vertigo. So here is my one and only prop for the night. So this is 3 or 4 days worth of medicine. So can you see? This is ginger in the bottom of a 1.5 liter bottle of water. Just that I poured some out, so there's less than 1.5 liters. So let's say we've got just about 1 liter there, and loads of ginger in the bottom. So I said that when we're at the hospital, we laugh and joke. So I reminded her, I left Jamaica when I was 11.5, but I reminded her, where we lived in the country, no doctors, no police officers, no nothing. But we all lived through childhood. We survived. And I reminded her of the jar of alcohol which contained a scorpion. So they had all these different, you know, there's a lot of quackery going on over there, but I suppose old wives' medicines or whatever you call them. But there was definitely a bottle of alcohol with a scorpion in it. I don't know what that one was used for, but it was used for something. We didn't drink it. It was an external rub or something. So we joked about it, and you know. So here, as soon as I came in, this was the first thing I did. I took my coat off, and this was the first thing I did, you know, to get it going so it'll be ready for tomorrow. And then the second thing I did was cook. So I didn't sit down. I literally took my coat off and straight into the kitchen, because I've been on the go all day, and that's the secret to surviving. Don't sit down. Once you sit down, your energy is gonna go. So anyway, so that's that part. The next part, in one of my previous videos, the one I did when I was going out in the rain to the hospital, I made that video to make a point, because in it I expressed about there are people who, like my mother, assuming that my sister needs to eat good food, and I'm saying that I can do the cooking. I'm assuming she thinks I can't cook, or I don't know anything about nutrition or something. And then on the other hand, I've got people who think that not knowing the situation, not knowing what's wrong with my sister or anything, these are people who just on the outskirts, who just know her, but, you know, no contact, would want to tell me that she would be better off staying with my mother. My sister doesn't want to go and stay with my mother, right? She wants to come home, and she, as it is arranged, she's happy with that. So, as I said, there are outsiders who presumably think that I'm not capable of looking after my sister, despite the fact that I have been doing that on and off since April, which, as one of my friends told me, 7 months. So for the past 7 months since she's been ill, I'm basically her support system. Now, I mentioned on that video that there are only 2 people I know outside of Facebook, because there are people that I know from Facebook who have a lot of sense, and there are people who I know in the flesh, in real life, who are also on Facebook, who have no sense. And these are the people who go and they like this to one another. So they go and talk to the people who are not on Facebook. And so the people who are not on Facebook get to find out what's going on. So when I posted on Facebook that my mother and sister had cancer, that was kind of like a setup. And people say, how can you do that? It's because people come there to find out what's going on. And I knew, my mother confirmed that tonight, because I'll come back to the rain in a bit. But she came out, because my mother doesn't know anything about Facebook. She doesn't have internet. So she said, they said you put it on Facebook. What a bunch of sniveling cowards. So they hide behind the fact that I put it on Facebook. And by thus hiding, they've exposed themselves. And I'm talking about family members. Hello to all of you, right? With whom I have nothing in common. Right, so that was mother. So I'm trying to, I'm going to come back. I'll do the rain thing separately, and I'll do the supermarket thing separately as well. So I'm just going to make this point, because I mentioned in the video, when it was raining and the wind was blowing, as I was going out to the hospital, that there are only 2 people who I know. Well, one of them I don't know, because she's my sister's friend, but we've been talking since my sister's been in the hospital. She has sense. And the other is my good friend Margaret, whom I've known for more than, I'd say, call it 25 years now. She has sense. Guess what they've got in common? Margaret has a brother who suffered a brain injury, and he is in like sheltered accommodation, so he needs assistance, assisted living, I think it's called. But Margaret is ever faithful. She is the one who's around for her brother. And then Jenny, her father, he's passed away, but he was in a care home, and she was his carer, and she knew what was going on. So both of them have got experience, practical experience of having relatives who need, in Margaret's case, her brother needs care. In Jenny's case, her father needed care. That is the thing they've got in common, actual practical experience. Meanwhile, we've got all the idiots, the religious idiots out there. They're praying. I'm sure some of them are fasting as well, because, sacrifices. So they'll go, they'll forfeit their feeding their bellies. And so probably fasting and praying that my sister will get well. And for me, that's laughable, highly laughable, because these are the same people who, I don't know which God, because like I said, the God that they worship is not the same God that I have a relationship with. So they're doing all of that, the fasting. Presumably, let's say they're fasting. I don't know if they would be willing to make that kind of sacrifice, but let's be generous and say they're fasting as well as praying, right? So that's what they're doing. And in the meantime, they question my ability to provide the assistance that my sister requires, even though there's nobody else but me, right? And you would think something is better than nothing, but irrespective of that, so they're presumably at best praying, and like I said, perhaps fasting. And for all the praying and the fasting and the thoughts and prayers and all of that people do, what does it do? In what way is it helping? So I'm going to talk about the rain part now and the shopping part. So every day I take a cup of herbal tea, ginger and lemon herbal tea for my sister. But I used the last 2 bags tonight, and the intention was on the way back to stop at the supermarket and pick some more up. So I traveled part way, got off the bus, went into Sainsbury's to pick up my bits so that I could cook something to last me for the week, and as well to see if they had any of those herbal teas. They didn't. So I continued. I walked further up the road. I got a bus up to the co-op. I went into the co-op specifically to see if I could get the herbal tea, because I bought two packets of it for her before from that co-op. So I thought maybe they might have some. They didn't have any. So you could say I got off the bus in vain to go there. Then I got another bus up the road to the Tesco, but I wasn't able to get in there because the whole area was flooded. So they shut the store. So then it required me having to, bus stops were flooded along that path. So I had to sort of on the opposite side of the road, walk home. It was only 2 bus stops, but I walked home. I made a video, it's on there. And so while I was in Sainsbury's, I'm having a conversation with Mother, because obviously a video I did this morning, I said I blasted her because she's trying to tell me to tell my sister what she needs to do in her own home. What you see, if you look at the live videos that I do on the road, you will see there's no stress on me. You will see my energy is good. You will see I'm quite, I wouldn't say excitable, but it's almost like I'm in Wonderland. I just love life, right? Irrespective of everything. So I'm coming back from the hospital. I came out and it's like puddles everywhere. So I literally had to be trying to find, going around, away from, to come back to get out, because there were puddles everywhere, right? So I managed to negotiate that, no problem. And so I'm in Sainsbury's, and Mother's on the phone talking, trying to defend herself, because I'm trying to point out, you see, look, it's raining. The wind is blowing, there's puddles everywhere, and I am the only one coming to see my sister. Nobody's contacted me to find out how she is. I mean, things have happened, so maybe nobody wants to contact me or whatever, who cares? But it's, but prior to things happening, nobody was contacting me anyway, asking me anything. So long story short, I got the bus up to the Sainsbury's. I'm in the Sainsbury's, I'm picking up my stuff, mother's talking, and she's saying, oh, if it wasn't for the fact that I need to go for an operation, I'd come up. And I'm saying to her, if, and I'm saying, but you see, everything works out that I'm in a position all the time to be able to help. Now, between us here, whoever's watching the video, it is because there is God, and God puts you in the right place at the right time. So you're always available. That's how it works if God's around in your life. So if you're living willfully, of course, you're not going to be where you need to be. I'm the only one in my family today was my 50th visit to the hospital. I missed 2 days. One day because I wasn't well, and I wasn't well enough to go out, but I recovered the next day. Right, and then the other day was because my sister had surgery, and I was cut off at the pass and told not to come because she was coming out of surgery. 2 visits I've missed. 50 days I've been going to the hospital consistently, and I just get on with it. But so I'm trying to point out to mother that she's not getting it, because people never do. It doesn't matter how you break it down, they don't get it. So I'm trying to point out that, yeah, there's lots of people who, if I wasn't here, if I wasn't abroad, I would help. If I wasn't ill, I'd help. If that's all you're hearing, if. But if doesn't carry any weight with anything. It doesn't do anything. I know they say it's the thought that counts. Yeah, sure, you might have good intentions. Like one of my friends said, oh, like of my sister in Canada, maybe she's concerned. What? I've said this so many times. So what? To me, when you're worried and concerned, it's about you. It's not about the other person, because your worry and your concern isn't doing anything for the person who needs the help. It's about you. It's almost like it's an act of narcissism. I'm such a good person because I'm worried and this. At no point, nobody who's spoken to me throughout this time that my sister's been ill, nobody will say to you that I sounded worried, because I am not. I'm not the worrying type. I look for solutions. I've said this before. I try to find practical solutions to deal with the things, which is why I've come home and I've prepared. Listen to me calling it home now. So I've come back to my sister's place and I've done this, because this is likely to help her than vain prayers and fasting. So anyway, so that was that. But my mother still didn't get it, and then came the clincher, right? Or sort of like the where she sort of sunk herself. And when I say these things, I'm not saying it because I'm trying to make my family look bad. I'm chucking them under the bus. I'm just trying to point out certain things. Maybe people can, see what I'm talking about and understand what I'm talking about and relate or something. So then she says, with regards my sister in hospital, she goes, well, when I had my surgery, she came and she helped me. So I was willing to come and help her. And I said, there you go, you see. But nobody's helped me. So in other words, I'm not doing it because somebody's done something for me. So it's like, well, this person did that for me, so I've got to do that for them. More often than not, nobody's done anything for me. But I'm that kind of person. If I'm in a position where I can help, then help is what I'm going to do. But the help is conditional. I'm not going to help you if you don't deserve the help. And people say, but we're not supposed to judge. Yes, we are supposed to judge. We are supposed to judge righteous judgments. So I thought that was, her saying, oh, she helped me, so I'm going to help her. And I thought, this is so childish. I have this thing where I phone people, and they don't need to phone me back. Or they phone or they phone me and I don't need to phone them back. In other words, we're not saying you phone me, so I'm going to phone you or anything like that. It's like if I hear from you, I hear from you. If I don't hear from you, I don't hear from you, and vice versa. So while I was about to do the video, when one of my male friends phoned me, actually one of my admirers. So I posted a short video clip on WhatsApp, and I'm not being vain when I say this, because I've been told this, that the camera loves me. So even this camera here might not love me because the lighting's wrong and everything, but out there in the natural light. So it was sort of like saying, wow, you're looking good, this, that, the other, and so on. So we had a conversation, saying I've been to the hospital, this, that, the other. And, you know, so I've got another supporter. I'm not going to call his name because there are people who might know him, and I don't want to create anything, you know. But like Margaret and Jenny, nobody's going to ever know them. But with this person who contacted me, there are people who perhaps would know him. So I'm not going to say. But, you know, big respects to him because he took the time to call me and to say, you know what, at the end of the day, you're looking after your sister. And he uses the kind of language that I don't use. But he did basically said, F them. And just, you know, just keep doing what you're doing and so forth and so on. So, you know, I thank him for calling me. And, you know, that's all good. But so as I was saying now, so it's the thing where my mother's saying she helped me, so I'm going to help her. If I was to function on that basis, I wouldn't have anything to do with anybody. I genuinely would have no cause to have anything to do with anybody, because I would challenge anybody to come to me and say, apart from my dear friend Trevor, who helped me get the book published, I've said this before, God sent Trevor, and there were people trying to put Trevor off from helping me to write the book. And I will tell you, where there's God, there's Satan. So if God is trying to get you to do something, or if God wants you to do something, Satan's going to be lurking there to try and prevent you. And I can tell you this categorically. At the time when I was writing my book, the ones that Satan were using was my family. It was my family who were trying to prevent me from writing that book. Shock, horror, that might sound really horrible, but this is the reality, right? So I look at it from the perspective, I said in one of the videos I did this morning, that everybody to me is the same. I don't do blood is thicker than water. I do people. So you're either a good person, you're not a good person. You're my friend, you're my enemy. But it doesn't matter who you are. That's how I look at it. So, I mean, my mother's head must be spinning right now because I'm doing to her what she does to people. I was even talking about blocking people from contacting me. That's what she does. She will change her phone number and you know, resort to such tactics to prevent even her own family getting in contact with her. And so I'm going to try and wrap up as quick as possible. But for me, I was out there in the rain and I was having fun. If you were to go, the videos are short, me out there in the rain, especially the one coming back where I'm walking because the bus stop's flooded and all of that. I was out there having fun. And what I was getting from that was God showing off. And you may ask yourself, what do you mean God showing off? Well, I've said before that God likes to showboat. And here I am, I'm going around doing my good works, not because I want anybody to tell me I'm fantastic or for anyone to praise me or anything like that. Just me being me. And in the meantime, like my mother was saying, oh, ignore them, this, that, the other, you know, all the naysayers. But she's one of them as well. She's a naysayer also. So, you know, what people don't understand is I don't take things on board. This is why I don't look stressed. See, look, I don't look stressed at all. It doesn't matter what's going on. I don't take people seriously. So as I'm walking along, I'm there and literally I'm singing in the rain kind of thing. I was, you know, enjoying myself because I just felt perfect peace. I felt my health is great. I feel no aches and pains, no niggles, no nothing. I feel great. And I'm out there and I can see how this is working for God, because It's sort of there's me doing the videos, and it's sort of like all the elements are coming down, and it's sort of like it's not dampening my spirit, and so, but the lesson from that is, right. So this is the God bit. While people are sitting in the comfort of their homes, the holier than thous, all the religious folks, and perhaps praying, dear Lord, please make her sister better, blah blah blah. When I say her sister, they would be calling her by name, but I don't put this information out there, even though some people know who my sister is by name. So it's sort of like, it's that scripture, show me your faith and I'll show you my works. I was out there, I gave my sister a facial. All right, I'm going to confess something, because I just had a facial as well. This stuff is really very good. It's the hydrogen peroxide. It's very good for doing facials. But I'm not going to tell you how I use it. You can find that out independently. Right, so I gave my sister a facial. I cut her nails. I made sure everything was all right with her. Right, so that's what I was at the hospital doing. And my mother called me. Well, she didn't call me. She called my sister. And I made a point of saying to her, I'm doing her face and her nails. I made a point of saying that. So I'm not just coming here to visit, to sit down with her, to keep her company for a couple of hours and then go home. I am aware of her upkeep, and I've attended to that. Right? So then I called back and let my sister speak to her, and after she finished, oh, so you were doing her face and her nails? I said, yeah. Just because literally it's about making a point, and sometimes that's all God's trying to do. Sort of, sometimes people would think, oh, but you believe in God, how come you're suffering like that? You are supposed to have joy in your sorrows and all of that. I mean, the rain hasn't dampened my mood in any way, shape, or form. Even I've been up from I don't know what time I've been up since, but it's all good, right? It's all good. I'm not tired or anything. When I'm done here, it's like almost 11:30 in the night. I'm going to do some work. I'm not done yet. The evening is still young, so the clocks go back later, so we get an hour extra in bed. So technically, I've got an hour to kill. I've got an hour extra to play with. So I'm just going to prepare something so that when I wake up in the morning, I can literally hit the ground running sewing wise. I did think, I thought I wouldn't be able to do any work because it would be all machining. But then I remember there's things that I can do that just require measuring and ironing. So I will do that instead, and I should be able to get quite a bit done tonight. But life is amazing. But like I said, this is God with all the elements coming down on me and all of that, and then these people who don't think I can cook, and or who don't think I could provide a nutritious meal for my sister, or that I'm incapable of looking after her properly. They're sitting on their backsides in their warm homes, petitioning God to maybe not to help her to get better. Meanwhile, as I said, here I am working with whatever inspiration I get, creating medicines and things that actually work. No nausea. Managed to keep all her food down today. Right, so this is what it's about. It's actual practical. God gives you the inspiration and you put it into practice, rather than sitting on lazy backsides just offering empty words. Right, so that's a lesson. That is, I knew that when I was walking coming back, I saw where God was going with it. Rain came down. I've got all the videos there on Facebook and on YouTube and Twitter, and I'm gonna put another one up on WhatsApp when I'm done, because there are people on WhatsApp who are not on social media. I'm gonna put that one up so they can actually see what I've been doing. And it's like I said, show me your faith and I will show you my works. And it's not like I'm boosting up myself, but God uses people in order to get the message across. And like I said, that's what came across to me. And people sitting there with the lip service, criticizing, being, putting others down because they're so holy, so righteous, and there are people out there doing the work. There are people, like I said, it's my 50th visit to the hospital. I'm not blowing my trumpet or anything. I'm just saying this is the reality, and it is what it is. But as I said, just to wind up with the reason I get sense from Margaret and Jenny, experience. They've got experience. The reason I'm getting stupidity and nonsense from these other people, these dissenting voices, they don't have any experience. They only know to sit on their backsides. The religious ones offering up prayers, and the others just spouting ignorance. So I haven't said this for a while. Pick sense out of nonsense. Now I've got my chicken in the oven. Let me go and see if it's burnt. Actually, it's not burnt because I haven't taken my eye off the bowl. I know it's about ready to come out now. So see you later.